what's it been like? Let's say 4 months since I watched the movie the second time. Didn't know what to expect going into this. I'd say it went down a little bit this time because, man, the plot armor really just stuck out to me again to such an annoying rate. And not just the plot armor, but also the open. Like, it starts off annoying me with Samara Weaving. Just the thought of her going in that alley, and some New York residents told me there are no alleys in New York. I've been in New York a couple of times, and maybe you're right because I'm sure you're right. You're from there, but I guess I don't remember any alleys in New York. But first off, it's Samara Weaving. She's like one of the most attractive creatures on the planet. Secondly, she's been talking to this guy for a while. It looks from the conversation, but how he was able to lure her in that alley, I was just like, there's no way she would go into that alley. But I put it aside. Let's enjoy the movie, and I definitely did like Jason, that guy Jason. I thought the opening was hella cool, actually, really cool. What's up, Jason? How are you doing? Born Slippy. So I don't get me wrong. There are things about Scream 6 I still really enjoy. Love the location. Love that they did try to mix it up a little bit with I think I preferred the opening thing with the Jason and his roommate over the crazy Baileys in the end. I think the Baileys were just a little bit too out there, a little bit too weird for me, Plot armor. Jesus, the plot armor. This watch, I was just because I think what it was I was paying attention to each character this time. That supposedly was stabbed, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, audience, but every main character in Scream 6 was at least stabbed once. Most were stabbed multiple times. Okay, all core 4 were stabbed. I'm going to say multiple times. Gail was stabbed multiple times. And it's not just the fact that they were stabbed. I can let that pass, except for one, of course. We'll get to Chad. But Mindy, Mindy should have died. She should have died physically, but I think we needed a death in this movie. And I think Mindy would have been a really good death because she was the one giving all the rules. Which, by the way, her rules in this movie were complete bullshit because everything no one is safe. And I know they've done this in Scream 3 before. But no one is safe. Anyone could die. No one fucking died. No one died. Okay? The legacy characters, no, they're alive. The main cast, everyone's alive. I'm already getting annoyed just talking about the movie, okay? That's what I get for going to my Twitter right after. But I think Mindy should have died because she's the one making the rules. It would have been kind of there would have been an emotional punch there because Mindy's a great character. And, yeah. So she didn't die, but then to make matters worse, at the end of the movie, she's just kind of walking around, lollygagging around the ambulance like nobody got hurt. And she just got stabbed in the stomach, I think 2 or 3 times. Again, I love the locations in this movie. I think it's genius to put this on the subway. Having and by the way, guys, it's kind of like Where's Waldo? Have you guys ever tried to write down every single character that's on that subway? And I guarantee you, every time you watch the movie, you'll come up with a new. I noticed the bride from Better Ready or Not. This last watch, I noticed the bride from Ready or Not was on there, which nice little plug for Samara Weaving. But yeah, really cool. Chris, he says, what I don't get is why does Ethan call help for Mindy if the plan was to go to the hospital and make sure she didn't pull through? And you know what, Chris? That's one of about a dozen questions you could easily ask and pick apart with that final act reveal with the crazy Baileys. It is, I think as far as like guys, tell me this. Out of all the Scream movies, which one has the biggest Scooby-Doo ending? Okay? And you can think about this, but which one has the biggest... Because all Scream movies have kind of a Scooby-Doo ending. But which one has the crazy... Like, they've jumped the shark with Scooby-Doo endings, okay? Because I was looking for a way for Chad to live on this last watch. Maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm nitpicking this. Maybe Chad could live, okay? And then when I watched that scene... I mean, he had the look of death on his face. Kudos to freaking Gooding. I can't remember his first name. Cuba Gooding Jr.'s son, but his acting was phenomenal in the movie. I love Chad as a character. He should have died in that scene. You know what? Keep Mindy alive if you want to. Chad should have died in this movie. It would have been so much more of it would have actually solved a lot of problems in this movie as far as people's dislikes. I think a lot of people that complain about Scream 6, they probably would have got another, freaking fourth of their audience back if they would have, Mason Gooding, thank you, Chris, if they would have had Chad die. Just give us something. Like, you gave us Dewey in the last movie. And Dewey was stabbed, I think, I'll say maybe he was stabbed twice. It looked like Chad was stabbed like 18 freaking times. Like, he's got two killers. Just boom, 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 back and all over the guy's chest. Just freaking destroying him. And he lived. And it's a movie. I know that. Did I have fun with Scream 6? Yes, I did. I don't regret ever watching it. Scream 6 doesn't have a dull scene in it, okay? There's a lot of fun to be had. I think, well, I guess I could say just like any other, if I watched any movie that had this much plot armor, oh my God, I would probably be a lot harder on it than I am on Scream 6. Because we hold Scream up to be so high. And I think Scream 6 had the most potential. We're getting out of Woodsboro. We're in New York. The setting is gorgeous. And one thing that I haven't really complained about is Sam and Tara. I really enjoyed both of them in Scream 6. So Scream 6 has some good stuff, all right? Halloween Ends, and guys, all right, I'm scared to even say the two words together because Jesus. But I do have a great audience anyway. So you guys, a lot of you guys don't like Halloween Ends. That's great, but you're respectful, all right? And I get why people don't like Halloween Ends, but it doesn't have. Let's just put it this way. Setting aside just the audience that likes or loves Halloween Ends, okay? I'm just talking about them. You have to admit, actually, let me say it this way. The audience that likes Halloween Ends and the audience that likes Scream 6, right? Because a lot of us like Scream 6. You have to admit that Halloween Ends, although it does have structural problems, it does have maybe some problems in the story department. But if you like the movie, you got to admit less problems than Scream 6. Less things to throw Skittles at, okay? As a story all its own, taking into consideration Michael Myers being in the movie not as much. In the context of the story, you have to admit that it's there's less problems. You can follow the plot all along. I think Michael Myers is actually pretty important to the movie, honestly. Just because he represents evil on its way down, and evil needing to leave a body that is pretty much at the end of its life, right? That's pretty much the whole point of Halloween Ends. And I think, and I'm noticing it now, I'm seeing people starting to come around to Ends little by little. There are some that are going to hate Ends till their dying day. I get that. That's completely fine, all right? It's part of the reason why I like it. I tend to like movies that have a divided audience, And this is my fault, but I tend to actually like them more when people, it's like when I'm on Twitter or I'm on social media or Facebook or whatever, the more you hate it, the more I love it. I can't help it. That's just the way I am. And I think the reason being is because I can pretty much defend every complaint against Halloween Ends from a story standpoint. You know, I can't make you like the movie, nor would I ever want to make you like the movie, but I can explain it to you. And I've done it numerous times. I've had so many people send me questions about Halloween Ends. It's because of this, this, and this. That's exactly why this happened. Right? If you could even tie it back to the first movie sometimes, you know. But I don't. It doesn't bother me if you don't like the movie. Just be respectful, you know. We're all horror fans, and I love the horror community. I think 98% of the horror community is all good people who, you know, we all have jobs. We go about our lives, and we all have opinions, and it's fine. You know how I like asking you guys questions, right? I thought this would be interesting. Maybe this will mix it up a little bit. Let's do 2 movies, okay? 2 movies against 2 movies, all right? And I really think about this, okay? Don't go for one. Like, I hate Halloween Ends so much that I can't get. I think you know where I'm going with this, all right? Think about the answer first, okay? Before you answer it, all right? Halloween Kills and Ends. We're not talking about 2018. I'm talking about put these 2 against each other. Kills and Ends versus Scream 5 and 6, all right? Does that make it shift a little bit for you guys? Or is it the same as Ends and Scream 6? Okay? So, you can just write Kills and Ends, or you can write 5 and 6 for Scream 5 and 6. All right? I'm curious to see what you guys think. All right? And I will say, it seems like depending on the social media platform, it's either Ends or it's Scream 6. Because it seemed like on X, Twitter, it was much more Scream 6. But then I would go over to like Facebook, and I'd be surprised by so many people saying Ends. So it's like, why is that? Isn't that weird? It's kind of weird. Maybe there's a younger audience on Twitter. I don't know what it is, okay? So, here we go. Polly says Kills and Ends. Kills and Ends. Halloween Ends. Kills all the way. Kills and Ends. I get every time I even say the word kills, I want to watch Halloween Kills. I would say, I can't tell you right now which movie I prefer, Kills or Ends. But the one I want to watch the most, I think, is Kills. I can throw in Kills like almost any old day, any old time, and just have a blast. I can even have it as background music. I love the score. I love the vibe of the movie. I love how brutal Myers is. If you want your brutal Myers, that's what Kills was. He didn't want to repeat himself in Ends. Let's make a different story. What if we had the evil leave Myers and go into a different person? And let's kind of explore that person for the movie. That's what I loved about Ends. I loved Corey as a character. You know, watch it. I thought Rowan Campbell did such a great job. I have not seen Scream 5 and 6 one time on here. Is that just maybe is that just kind of showing you how great Kills is? You know. Rosemary says, I just had Kills on the background yesterday while I was cleaning. Yeah, I've done that before, Rosemary. I've literally been cleaning and I've had Kills on in the background. It's a comfort movie, you know. And I don't know about you guys. I crank it. When I put on Kills, I crank it. And the reason I crank it is because that music that comes on during the Universal logo, I get chills every time. It's just so like, I don't know, emotional? That's the word that I'm looking for. But man, I love that intro music. Scream 5 is just, like, I'll say this right now. I prefer 6 over 5. And 5 commits far less crimes than 6. Okay? I'm smacking. Hold on. And one point that I wanted to bring up was Dewey. I mean, if you compare Dewey to Chad, I mean, Dewey had it far easier as far as his death scenes than Chad did. I mean, Chad was like obliterated and he lived. And you could say that Dewey's been stabbed before, but so is Chad. Chad was stabbed multiple times in Scream 5. So, maybe because they killed Dewey, I don't know. Maybe they have bigger plans for the core 4 going forward. But boy, me personally, boy, did they make a mistake. Only letting everybody live. Because I don't even, if you want everybody to live, that's fine. But write it so it makes fucking sense. You know? Don't just freaking line everybody up on a firing line and shoot them with, an assault rifle over and over, and then let them all walk away at the end. You know what I mean? That's what's up, guys? You are at the end of the DD Live clip. What I do is I like to clip these out if I think the topic is important or something that's newsworthy. So thank you for watching, and if you want to watch more, you can go over here. You can go over here. Click on one of those. And hopefully I can do this for 20 seconds, which I think I did. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys.